So there's an interesting case that we thought we'd draw your attention to. The Center for Child Law is calling for proper implementation of the Child Justice Act when dealing with children who allegedly contravene the law due to substance abuse. It believes that emphasis should rather be placed on treating children for drug dependency rather than criminalizing them and incarcerating and punishing them. The center has referred the matter to the Constitutional Court. For more on this, I'm joined now by Isabel Magaya from the Center for Child Law. And these are proceedings, Isabel, that are about the confirmation or otherwise by the Constitutional Court, which has the final say on these matters, confirmation of an order that said a certain aspect of the Drugs and Drug Trafficking Act was unconstitutional. Tell me exactly what these proceedings are about.
Good afternoon, Tulas, and thank you. So if you remember, in 2019, the Constitutional Court ruled in the Prince matter, essentially decriminalizing the use and possession of cannabis or certain amounts of cannabis by adults in private settings. So in that matter, the Constitutional Court did not engage with issues dealing with such conduct by children. So what ended up happening is that children who were caught using or in possession of cannabis were incarcerated or were treated as criminals.
And the High Court deemed that particular section that made the incarceration of these children to be unconstitutional. And you as the center would like that confirmed. Why?
Absolutely. So we agree with the High Court in that the Drug and Drug Trafficking Act is not adequately protecting children's rights by sentencing them or allowing them to be sentenced to or to be held as criminals, because their only crime is possession, and possession is not necessarily a crime for adults. And we're saying that the criminal justice system is a harmful place to deal with children or to engage with children who have substance abuse issues. And we believe for a more holistic approach to children's issues, which allows them to actually engage or to be given an opportunity to be rehabilitated and to receive services and programs that would allow them to get help and to get over the substance abuse. And we are of the view that in the criminal justice system, it exposes them to the harms, and we all know that the system is a harsh place. The criminal justice system is a harsh place with criminal elements. So we might end up having children leaving the criminal justice system or jail as hardened criminals as opposed to rehabilitated former offenders.
So if I understand the facts of the case correctly, it stems from a situation where some children were found at school to have been in possession and using a certain amount of cannabis. And the school, instead of, taking the path you are suggesting, perhaps conducting tests for themselves for disciplinary measures to be undertaken by the school, simply called the police. You'll have many rather strict parents who will be out there, who will be saying, where does it stop? How do I scare the living daylights out of this child, if that's the approach that the parent wants to take, by showing them that there are consequences out there? If you engage in this kind of behavior, you could end up in jail. I'm pretty sure you have come across this question.
Yes, so scaring them is one thing, but we can't scare them into an uglier place or into a place that will cause them more harm than good. So obviously the particular case or the incident that led us to this case was that 4 boys were caught using, and they tested positive for use. And the school principal was entitled to actually report the matter and engage with the issue, but he could only do that for disciplinary purposes at school. However, the prosecutor in the case decided to take them through the child justice system and ended up having the children get incarcerated. And we were saying that, so the prosecutor was actually was actually empowered by the Drugs and Drug Trafficking Act to do what he or she proposed in that matter. And we were saying that if you want to rehabilitate the children or scare them, the criminal justice system is not it. So we need to come up with solutions to actually deal with the children or to engage with the children or to help them understand the error in their ways. And the criminal justice system is not it.
Yeah, look, I must just put a disclaimer that those are not my views, but I do have a duty to put that proposition to you because some parents indeed would hold such a position. How confident are you of your case? Yes, go ahead.
So I would like to just clarify that with this case, we're not saying we're not encouraging children to use or to be in possession of cannabis. We're essentially saying that if they are found to be in use of it, we need to help them. We need to come up with constructive solutions to actually help them get over the addiction, not to incarcerate them. So we're not encouraging or saying it's okay for children to be in possession or to use cannabis.
So it's a bit of an approach that's similar to what I've heard some countries taking in Europe, where addiction is treated as a medical issue rather than a criminal issue. But I'm just wondering now, as you are saying this, we are very specific here. We are talking about cannabis, right? Not other drug substances. And the reason is that cannabis is in a unique positions following that decision of the Constitutional Court in 2019.
Yes. So, yes, the case deals specifically with cannabis, and I would like to also bring to your attention that currently Parliament is engaging or dealing with the cannabis bill. So they are unpacking some of the issues pertaining to regulation of use of cannabis in private spaces. And the Centre has made submissions highlighting that when children are found in possession or to be dependents of illegal substances, they should be assisted in terms of the Children's Act and the Substance Abuse Act.
Yeah. Lastly, Isabel, let me ask you how confident you are that you made a strong case. Judgment has been reserved, of course. That's what the Constitutional Court does. They will have to sit, the justices, and reflect on the arguments and all the presentations before them before making final and binding findings and judgment on this matter. And I ask you what your sense is of how well you presented your case in the context in which you cite another piece of law, that is the Child Justice Act, where you are saying that, you're quoting a part that says a child must not be treated more severely than an adult would have been treated in the same circumstances.
Yes. So in terms of confidence, we're quite confident, and we can only hope that the Constitutional Court can see or view this issue along the lines that we argued. And our counsel did an absolutely amazing job this morning, and we're quite confident and hopeful, actually, that the Court does declare that, or that makes it clear that children who are found in possession or use of cannabis cannot be treated as criminals, because we know the court jurisprudence when it comes to children's rights is very progressive, and we have no doubt that justice will be served.